The facts are these. Donald Trump has arrived in the United Kingdom for his second state visit, hosted by His Majesty King Charles III. Almost immediately, Trump reignited his long-standing feud with the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, calling him a nasty person who has done a terrible job running the city. While the king hosts state banquets and royal processions at Windsor Castle, London's mayor has publicly rebuked Trump, citing London's values of diversity and openness. Simultaneously, thousands of protesters have taken to the streets of London. However, their anger is not just aimed at the American visitor, but is increasingly directed at their own government, with chants and banners targeting both Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Mayor Sadiq Khan over the state of the nation. To unravel what this perfect storm of protest, politics, and royal protocol truly means for the future of Britain, we now turn to our senior political analysts, John and Jane.
Jane, what we are witnessing is pure political theater, but the script has been flipped entirely. The main event is supposed to be the state visit, this grand display of the special relationship, but it has been completely overshadowed by this sideshow between Donald Trump and Sadiq Khan, and frankly, Khan is losing badly. Trump delivers his insult with the subtlety of a bulldozer, as he always does, and then moves on to dine with the king. He looks powerful. Sadiq Khan, on the other hand, is left shouting from the sidelines, lecturing everyone on values. He looks small, reactive, and utterly powerless in comparison.
You are absolutely right, John, but I think the real story is even deeper than that. It is a clash of realities. Sadiq Khan stands up and talks about London being a beacon of diversity and rule of law, pointing to figures about Americans wanting to move here. But who is that message for? It certainly is not for the Londoners living the reality of his leadership. Try telling the family in Hackney who cannot afford their rent that London is a paradise. Try telling the pensioner in Croydon who is afraid to go out after dark because of knife crime that the city is a beacon of safety. Trump's insult may be crude, but for millions of people, it contains a kernel of truth about the city's decline that Khan's polished speeches deliberately ignore.
And that is precisely why this feud is so damaging for the mayor. He is spending all his political energy fighting a Twitter war with a former president while the city he is paid to run crumbles. The transport system is unreliable, housing is a catastrophe, and crime is a constant worry. He has become a distraction from his own failures. Every moment he spends talking about Donald Trump is a moment he is not talking about the safety of London streets. And the people see it. They see a mayor more interested in international grandstanding than fixing the buses, and they are growing tired of it.
Which brings us to the truly explosive element in all of this, the king. While Khan and the politicians squabble, King Charles sits in Windsor Castle, a silent symbol of stability and continuity. The imagery is almost medieval, John. The powerful foreign warrior is welcomed into the fortress to feast with the monarch, while the furious mayor is left shouting outside the castle walls. That single image does more damage to Khan's authority than any insult from Trump because it highlights a profound lack of gravity in our own elected leaders.
And that is precisely why this feud is so damaging for the mayor. He is spending all his political energy fighting a Twitter war with a former president while the city he is paid to run crumbles. The transport system is unreliable, housing is a catastrophe, and crime is a constant worry. He has become a distraction from his own failures. Every moment he spends talking about Donald Trump is a moment he is not talking about the safety of London streets, and the people see it. They see a mayor more interested in international grandstanding than fixing the buses, and they are growing tired of it.
Which brings us to the truly explosive element in all of this, the king. While Khan and the politicians squabble, King Charles sits in Windsor Castle, a silent symbol of stability and continuity. The imagery is almost medieval, John. The powerful foreign warrior is welcomed into the fortress to feast with the monarch, while the furious mayor is left shouting outside the castle walls. That single image does more damage to Khan's authority than any insult from Trump because it highlights a profound lack of gravity in our own elected leaders.
And this is where the whispers begin. For the first time in generations, ordinary people are looking at the chaos in Westminster, the failures in City Hall, and then they are looking at the king, and they are starting to ask that unthinkable question. The power of the monarch to dissolve Parliament has not been used for centuries. It is the nuclear button of British politics. But the fact that people are even mentioning it in pubs on social media tells you how little faith is left in our political system. The fury on the streets is not just about Trump. It is about a complete and utter loss of confidence in our own ruling class.
It is a profound crisis of legitimacy. The protesters are shouting Starmer out and Khan out just as loudly as they are shouting about Trump. They feel that the entire political establishment has betrayed them. The economy is struggling, our communities feel less safe, and our politicians seem completely disconnected from the lives of ordinary people. In that environment, the monarchy ceases to be just a symbolic institution. It starts to be seen as the only institution left that represents dignity, duty, and the nation itself, rather than a political party.
Exactly. And history teaches us a very clear lesson. When the people believe their elected leaders have failed them, they look for alternatives. No one is seriously suggesting King Charles will storm into the House of Commons with the Coldstream Guards, but the idea that he could act, that he holds this ultimate reserve power, has been reawakened. Whispers from inside Parliament suggest even members of Parliament are nervous, admitting that if the king were to make a move, a significant portion of the public might actually cheer him on. That is how brittle our democracy has become.
It is a terrifying thought, but it shows the depth of the despair. The contrast in leadership is almost Shakespearean, John. You have Sadiq Khan, who appears flustered and obsessed with rhetoric. You have a prime minister in Keir Starmer, who seems to be reacting to events rather than shaping them. And then you have King Charles, who by simply performing his constitutional duties with quiet dignity looks more like a leader than any of them. He has not said a single political word, yet his silence is deafening. It is a masterclass in soft power.
And once that genie is out of the bottle, Jane, you can never put it back in. The moment the public sees the crown, not just as a piece of history, but as a potential solution to political chaos, the fundamental relationship between the monarch and Parliament is changed forever. The real threat to Keir Starmer and Sadiq Khan is not Donald Trump. The real threat is the growing idea in the minds of the British people that maybe, just maybe, this Parliament is not fit for purpose, and that the ancient, underestimated power of the monarchy is the only emergency brake we have left. The circus in Westminster has gone on for too long, and people are starting to wonder who has the authority to finally bring the curtain down.
It is a dangerous and unpredictable moment in our nation's history. The pomp and ceremony of this state visit have accidentally exposed the hollowness at the heart of our own politics. The question is no longer just about who runs London, but who truly speaks for Britain.
So, as the political drama unfolds, the fundamental question remains, a question that was unspeakable just a week ago.
We have to ask you, our viewers, with the current state of British politics, do you believe the time has come for the king to exercise his constitutional power and dissolve Parliament for the good of the nation? Let us know your honest opinion in the comments below. We read every single one.
And if you believe these are the conversations that truly matter, the stories the establishment would rather ignore, make sure you subscribe to AlertView and activate the notification bell. The battle for the future of Britain is happening right now, and you will not want to miss what happens next.